Have you ever felt like the universe was speaking to you? Maybe you kept seeing, repeating numbers, hearing the same song everywhere, or noticing strange coincidences that seemed too perfect to ignore. You thought, this must be a sign. But here's the hidden truth. Most people never realize. The more you chase signs, the more you actually delay what you truly desire. Yes, the very thing you're searching for slips further away, the harder you try to force the universe to show you proof. Think about it. When you're constantly looking for signs, what are you really doing? You're doubting. You're questioning whether your desire is really on the way. You're trying to grab at every clue, hoping it will calm your uncertainty. But the universe doesn't respond to doubt. It responds to certainty, to belief, to trust. And when your energy is focused on searching instead of trusting, you unintentionally block the flow that could bring your manifestation right to your doorstep. This is where most people go wrong. They believe signs are the cause of manifestation, when in reality, signs are just reflections. They don't create your reality, they echo it. They are mirrors of what you already hold inside. When your energy is aligned, signs appear naturally as confirmation, not because you chased them, but because you no longer needed them. And this is where the real shift happens. In this video, you're going to learn why letting go of your obsession with signs might be the one thing standing between you and your breakthrough. You'll discover the hidden connection between your focus and your results. And most importantly, you'll understand how to step into the state of calm, unshakable faith that makes the universe respond to you in powerful, undeniable ways. Let's add a little drama to this. Imagine someone waiting at a train station. They're pacing, looking at the clock every few seconds, wondering if the train will come. To them, every sound, every flicker of movement, feels like a possible sign. But their anxious energy makes the wait unbearable. Now imagine someone else who knows the train is coming. They sit down, relax and enjoy the moment. The train arrives just the same, but their experience is peaceful, effortless, and certain. Which energy do you think the universe rewards? Here's the secret. Signs are not the goal, they're the side effect. The universe doesn't send them because you beg for them. It sends them when you've already let go. When your energy says, I know it's done. That's when the signs flood in, not as proof to convince you, but as confirmation to celebrate you. So if you've been stuck chasing numbers, patterns or signals, this video is your wake-up call. By the end you'll know why chasing signs creates distance, why faith closes that gap, and how you can finally step into alignment with the reality you've been waiting for. Stay with me until the end, because once you grasp this, you'll never see signs or your manifestations the same way again. Before we talk about the way signs show up in your life, it's important to understand what they truly are. Many people assume signs are messages from outside forces trying to guide them, or prove that their desires are on the way. But in reality, signs are nothing more than reflections of what's already happening inside you. They don't create your manifestation, they mirror your belief. This is why two people can live in the same world and experience completely different signs. It all comes down to what they are holding in their inner state. Think about a mirror. When you look into it, the reflection you see is not creating your face, it's simply showing you what is already there. The mirror doesn't decide your expression, your posture, or your appearance. It only reflects it back. Signs in the universe work exactly the same way. They don't build your reality for you, but they do give you feedback about the energy you are carrying, and the story you're telling yourself on the inside. If you believe good things are coming, you'll start to notice supportive signs. If you're filled with doubt or fear, the signs you see may appear confusing, inconsistent, or even negative. This is why people who are in alignment often describe the world as magical. They say everything feels like it's working in their favor. Synchronicities happen, conversations open doors, numbers repeat. But it isn't because the signs suddenly appeared out of nowhere. It's because their inner belief reached a place of calm certainty, and the outer world simply echoed that state back to them. On the other hand, when you're constantly second-guessing, signs feel like puzzles. You question every little detail, wondering if it means yes or no, forward or backward, stop or go. This endless analysis drains your energy because you're asking the mirror to show you something different than what you actually believe. Let's take an example. Imagine you've set the intention to attract love. You question that if deep down you trust that love is on the way, you'll naturally begin noticing little reflections of that belief. Maybe you see couples around you more often, or you keep hearing love songs. These aren't creating your future relationship, they're confirming the vibration you've already tuned into. But if your inner state is filled with doubt, if you secretly believe love will never come, then even when you notice couples or hear songs, you might interpret them as reminders of what you don't have. The signs don't change, but your inner state determines the meaning. This is the reason it's so powerful to focus on your belief, rather than on chasing evidence. Signs will always come as echoes. If the echo doesn't feel supportive, it isn't a punishment from the universe. It's simply a reminder to shift the way you're thinking and feeling. The more aligned your inner world becomes, the more naturally the outer reflections will appear to support you. It's not about forcing the signs to show up, it's about becoming the version of yourself that doesn't need them in order to believe. That's when the mirror shines back exactly what you already know inside. Constant searching comes from doubt. When you are always scanning your surroundings for a clue, a number, or a coincidence to reassure you, it's a sign that you don't fully believe yet. Deep inside, there's a quiet voice saying, "What if it's not working? What if it never happens?" And instead of calming that voice, you try to silence it by hunting for proof outside of yourself. But that very act of searching is rooted in the energy of uncertainty, and that energy sends a clear signal to the universe that you don't trust the process. Doubt is natural, everyone feels it at times. But the danger is when doubt becomes the state you live in, it begins to replace trust with fear, and instead of stepping forward in confidence, you keep waiting for something to convince you that it's safe to believe. This waiting keeps you stuck. Imagine planting a seed in the ground, and then digging it up every day to see if it's growing. That constant checking doesn't help the seed. In fact, it disturbs its growth. The same happens with your desires. When you keep looking for reassurance, you don't give them space to unfold. Doubt lowers trust, and trust is the fuel that speeds up manifestation. Trust tells the universe, "I know it's already mine. I don't need to see it yet to believe it." This kind of faith creates calmness, and that calmness keeps your energy clear. But when doubt takes over, your energy becomes restless. You send mixed signals, sometimes saying yes and sometimes saying no, which confuses the process. The universe responds to the vibration you hold most strongly, and if that vibration is uncertainty, then the results you get will also appear uncertain. Think about the difference between someone who knows their order is coming at a restaurant, and someone who keeps calling the waiter every 2 minutes to ask about it. The one who trusts can relax, enjoy the moment, and the food arrives without stress. The one who doubts is restless, impatient, and drains their own peace in the waiting. In the end, both receive their meal, but the experience is completely different. Doubt makes the wait painful, while trust makes it effortless. The same principle applies to your life goals and desires. Another hidden effect of doubt is that it narrows your vision. When you're busy searching for specific signs, you might miss the bigger opportunities standing right in front of you. Doubt keeps your focus small, always on what might prove something, instead of on what could move you forward. Opportunities often come in unexpected forms, but if you are too busy questioning, you may not recognize them. Trust allows you to stay open, while doubt closes you off. Results slow down not because the universe withholds them, but because doubt creates resistance. It's like driving with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. You want to move forward, but fear keeps pulling you back. Only when you lift your foot off the brake, when you release the need to constantly search, does the journey speed up naturally. When you watch every little detail, you miss the bigger picture. It's like staring at a single puzzle piece and forgetting there's an entire picture waiting to be seen. When your attention becomes trapped in the small things, every number, every coincidence, every word someone says, you create a kind of tunnel vision. Instead of moving with ease, your energy becomes tight and narrow. The more you fixate, the less space you leave for the natural unfolding of events. Manifestation is not about control, it's about alignment. And alignment requires space, trust and flow. Obsession creates pressure. It makes you feel like something must happen right now, in the exact way you imagine. You keep checking, measuring and analyzing, hoping the pieces will fit the way you want. But this very pressure is what pushes things away. Think about a flower. You cannot pull on its petals to make it bloom faster. The moment you try to force it, you damage it. The same happens with your desires. When you watch them too closely, you create strain, and that strain slows everything down. Life has a rhythm, and the universe moves in cycles. Sometimes things seem still, and other times they move quickly. If you obsess over every small step, you will struggle with the natural rhythm. You'll mistake pauses for setbacks, and small changes for failures. But when you step back and look at the larger view, you begin to see how everything connects. What once felt like a delay might reveal itself as perfect timing. What once looked like rejection might turn out to be redirection. The bigger picture is always clearer, but you can only see it when you stop pressing your face against the glass. Obsession also drains your energy. The constant mental chatter of "is this it? Was that a sign? Did I do something wrong?" keeps your mind restless. Instead of feeling inspired, you feel exhausted. Instead of trusting, you begin doubting yourself at every turn. And the universe reflects that back to you. Because when you operate from pressure, what you attract is more pressure, more struggle, more resistance. Flow only comes when you loosen your grip. There's also a hidden beauty in stepping back. When you stop obsessing over every detail, you allow life to surprise you. You leave room for outcomes you couldn't have imagined on your own. Many times the universe delivers in ways far greater than your original plan, but obsession blinds you to these possibilities. You're so busy searching for what you expect, that you miss the miracles you didn't expect. Imagine trying to hold water in your hands. If you grip it too tightly, it slips away. But if you relax your hands, the water rests there with ease. The same principle applies to your desires. Obsession is the tight grip that causes loss. Flow is the relaxed hand that allows you to receive. When you stop watching every little detail, you make space for the bigger picture to reveal itself, and in that space, everything begins to move more smoothly. Signs are meant to confirm, not convince. Their purpose is not to prove that your desire is real, but to gently remind you that you are already on the right path. They arrive as echoes, reflections of the belief you already carry inside. When you truly believe, signs can feel like little nods from the universe, small confirmations that strengthen your trust. But when you don't believe, you treat signs as lifelines, desperately trying to hold on to them as proof. This is where the struggle begins, because the moment you need a sign to convince you, you've already stepped into doubt. Faith is different. Faith does not demand evidence. Faith is the ability to hold certainty, even when nothing in the outer world seems to support it. It is the quiet confidence that says, "I know it's already mine. I don't need proof to believe it." This kind of faith carries an energy so strong that it attracts results without effort. The universe responds to faith because faith aligns with trust, and trust opens the flow for manifestation to move freely. When people misunderstand the purpose of signs, they often end up in a cycle of seeking and questioning. They see a number sequence and feel encouraged for a moment, but then the doubt returns, and they look for another sign to reassure them again. This endless loop keeps them dependent on external validation. Instead of building faith, it weakens it, because their belief is tied to something outside of themselves. True manifestation does not come from chasing proof, it comes from holding steady belief, regardless of what you see. Think of it this way: if you plant a seed in the ground, you don't demand proof every day that it's growing. You water it, you give it sunlight, and you trust that the process is happening beneath the surface. You may not see the roots forming, but you know the growth is real. Faith works the same way. It doesn't require visible signs to be certain. And interestingly, once you reach this state of calm belief, that's when signs start to appear naturally. They arrive not to convince you, but to celebrate the truth you already hold. Faith is powerful because it detaches you from the need for constant reassurance. It allows you to move forward with peace and confidence, no matter what the outer circumstances look like. This inner steadiness creates a magnetic energy, and that energy draws experiences to you much faster than doubt ever could. The moment you stop demanding proof, you free yourself from pressure. You no longer need the universe to prove itself to you, because you've already decided within yourself that it is done. Signs are beautiful reminders, but they are not the foundation. The foundation is faith. Faith is what keeps you calm in the silence, patient in the waiting, and strong in the unknown. When you hold faith, you no longer search for proof, because you already know the outcome belongs to you. Signs may come, but you no longer depend on them, and that shift makes all the difference. Instead of waiting for signs, focus on your energy and actions. Signs can be comforting, but they are not the main source of your power. Your true influence lies in the energy you carry every single day, and the actions you take from that state. When you shift your focus inward, you stop waiting for the world to reassure you, and begin creating the vibration that calls your desire into form. Energy is like a signal you're broadcasting, and the universe responds to it without fail. If your energy is full of waiting, longing, or doubt, that's the signal being sent out. But if your energy is steady, calm, and filled with the certainty of already having what you want, then your reality begins to mirror that state back to you. This is why alignment matters more than signs. Alignment is about feeling the outcome before it arrives. It's stepping into the energy of the person who already has the thing you desire. That doesn't mean pretending or forcing. It means gently shifting how you feel and act until you're in harmony with the life you want. When you align in this way, you naturally start making choices, decisions, and movements that bring that vision closer. Instead of waiting passively for proof, you become an active participant in creating it. One powerful practice is to ask yourself, how would I feel if it were already done? That feeling becomes your guide. If you would feel secure, practice embodying that security now. If you would feel grateful, live in gratitude today. If you would feel free, start making small choices that allow you to taste freedom in your daily life. These feelings are not just emotions. They are vibrations that broadcast to the universe. When you hold them consistently, the universe reflects them back through people, opportunities, and circumstances. Energy also influences the actions you take. When you act from desperation, your choices tend to create more obstacles. But when you act from confidence, your choices naturally align with progress. The action doesn't have to be big or dramatic. Even the smallest step, when taken from the right energy, has the power to shift everything. It might be sending an email, practicing a skill, or simply treating yourself with more kindness. These actions reinforce the vibration of already having what you want. They become proof to your subconscious mind that your desire is real and unfolding. The beauty of this approach is that it frees you from waiting. You're no longer sitting around asking for signs, or wondering if you're on the right path. You already know you are, because your energy matches your vision. Signs may still appear, but they arrive as natural byproducts,
not as lifelines. You won't need them to believe, because your belief is already alive within you. Aligning with the feeling of already having it turns your desire from a distant hope into a living experience. You carry the energy now, and by carrying it you attract more of it. The universe always responds to what you are, not what you're waiting for. And when your energy and actions are aligned, you stop chasing proof and start living in the reality you've been asking for. The universe responds when you relax. When you let go of the constant need to control every step, something powerful begins to happen. Your energy softens, your mind clears, and you become open to possibilities you couldn't see before. Relaxation isn't laziness, it's a state of trust. It's the opposite of resistance. When you are tense, anxious, or always trying to force things, you send out a signal of struggle. But when you relax, you shift into a frequency of ease, and the universe mirrors that back. Life flows more naturally when you're not trying to grip it with both hands. Trust allows faster alignment than control. Control is rooted in fear. It comes from the belief that if you don't push, nothing will happen. But trust is rooted in faith. It says, I know this is unfolding for me, even if I can't see it yet. Trust carries a calm power. It creates space for timing, synchronicity, and unexpected opportunities to line up. When you cling to control, you limit what can come, because you're only open to outcomes that fit your narrow plan. But when you trust, you invite the universe to deliver in ways bigger and better than you could have imagined. Consider the difference between floating in water and thrashing against it. When you float, you're held up effortlessly. The water supports you because you allow it to. But if you thrash, you fight against the same force that could carry. Control is thrashing, trust is floating. The universe wants to carry, but it can only do so when you stop resisting with fear, doubt and impatience. Relaxing into trust allows you to be lifted by currents that are always working in your favor. This doesn't mean you do nothing. Relaxation doesn't cancel action, it changes the energy behind it. Action taken from control feels heavy, rushed and desperate. Action taken from trust feels light, inspired, and aligned. When you trust, you don't have to plan every detail or worry about every outcome. You take the step that feels right in the moment, and the next step reveals itself. It's a dance with the universe rather than a battle against it. Another hidden gift of trust is that it speeds up alignment. Control slows things down, because it clogs the flow with tension. Imagine trying to force a lock open with the wrong key, you only waste energy. But when you trust, you step back, and the right key often appears effortlessly. Alignment happens faster because you're no longer blocking it with your own resistance. The moment you relax, the path clears. The opportunities you've been chasing often show up when you finally stop pushing. Trust doesn't always feel easy, especially when results aren't visible yet. But it is in those moments of uncertainty that trust matters most. If you can relax when nothing seems to be happening, you show the universe that your belief is unshakable. And that unshakable faith becomes a magnet. The universe responds quickly to calm confidence, because it recognizes that you're ready. When you trust, you don't just wait, you align. And alignment is what turns invisible desires into visible reality. Detachment is not giving up, it's letting go of fear. Many people misunderstand detachment and think it means losing interest or abandoning their dreams. But true detachment is very different. It doesn't mean you stop caring about your desire. It means you release the anxious energy that keeps you tied to fear, doubt and control. Detachment is freedom. It's the ability to hold your vision with confidence while letting go of the desperation that says, I need this right now or I won't be okay. When you detach, you're saying, I already know this is mine. I don't have to beg for it. I don't have to worry about it. I can trust the process. Fear is what makes people cling too tightly to their desires. Fear whispers, what if it never comes? What if I fail? What if I lose it? And the more you listen to fear, the harder you grip. But that grip creates tension, and tension creates resistance. Imagine holding sand in your hand. If you clutch it tightly, it slips through your fingers. If you hold it gently, it stays with. Detachment works the same way. By letting go of fear, you create space for your desire to flow toward you naturally. Detachment is powerful because it places you in the vibration of already having. Think about the things you already feel secure about. You don't obsess over them, you don't worry if they'll still be there tomorrow. You trust them, and because you trust them, they remain steady in your life. Detachment applies this same energy to the things you're manifesting. Instead of constantly checking for proof, you move through life as though it's already handled. That calm assurance sends out a signal of certainty, and the universe always responds to certainty faster than it does to need. When you detach, results come naturally. They don't arrive because you forced them, but because you stop blocking them with fear. The universe operates like a current, always flowing, always moving. When you're desperate, you're swimming against the current. When you detach, you stop fighting, and the current carries you exactly where you need to go. Often the things you've been waiting for show up at the moment you finally let go. It's as if the act of releasing tells the universe, I'm ready to receive. Detachment also allows life to surprise you. When you're clinging to a specific outcome or a specific timeline, you limit what the universe can deliver. But when you release fear, you open the door to outcomes beyond your imagination. You stop demanding that it happen one way, and you allow it to unfold in the best way. This is why people often say they received something better than they originally asked for. Detachment makes room for those blessings to enter. At its core, detachment is trust in action. It's the quiet confidence that doesn't need proof, doesn't need control, and doesn't need to rush. It knows that what is yours cannot miss you. When you reach that place, your energy shifts. People often say the clearest signs come when they finally let go. When they stop begging for proof, when they stop chasing numbers and symbols, the universe responds with undeniable clarity. It might be a conversation with a stranger that says exactly what you needed to hear. It might be an opportunity falling into your lap out of nowhere. It might be a sudden alignment of events that seems too perfect to be random. These aren't accidents, they're reflections of your state of alignment. The less you cling, the more space you create for the universe to show up. Signs also feel more powerful when they're not expected, because they bypass the filter of your mind. When you're searching, you'll interpret anything as a sign, twisting every detail to fit your desire. But when a sign appears without your effort, you know it's real. It carries a sense of weight, a resonance that touches your soul and removes all doubt. That is the essence of confirmation. It doesn't argue with your fear, it aligns with your truth. Another truth is that signs are never the cause of manifestation. They are reminders. The cause is always your belief, your energy, your alignment. Signs don't bring your desire closer, they reflect the closeness that already exists. When you're in harmony with your vision, signs feel like little checkpoints along the journey, reminding you that the destination is guaranteed. But they're not the fuel of the journey, you are. The universe doesn't need to convince you with constant signals. It responds to your certainty, not your searching. The most powerful signs come when your heart is already steady, when your trust is already firm, and when you've stopped demanding proof. They arrive like a gift, like a gentle nod from the universe that says keep going. You're already there. And because they are not required, they become even more meaningful when they appear. Manifestations are not something you need to chase. They unfold in their own time, with or without your constant searching. When you let go of the pressure to find proof, you create space for the universe to move in your favor. Signs are not requirements, they are gentle reminders that you are already on the right path. They will show up naturally, in unexpected ways, when your energy is calm and your trust is steady. Instead of worrying about when or how, reassure yourself that everything you've asked for is already making its way to you. The more you relax, the faster things align. Remember, the signs are not the goal, the manifestation is, so allow them to come as confirmation, not as something you need to chase. If this message spoke to you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more guidance on manifesting with ease and trust.